This video is sponsored by Squarespace, the all-in-one platform that I use for all of my website needs. Hello everybody and welcome back to the channel. I hope you're well wherever you are in the world. And if you celebrate Christmas, that's coming up. Have a Merry Christmas. Now, if you've been following me for a while, you'll know that I've got a bit of history with Viltrox lenses. Over the years, I've picked up quite a few of them and they've definitely earned their place in my kit bag. For example, I've got the Viltrox 35mm F1.7, which is an excellent lens for the price point. But that said, I do tend to still lean towards Fujifilm's F1.2 56mm. It's just got that extra magic. The way it handles light and renders images feels a little bit more refined. But the Viltrox 56mm is still a fantastic option, whether it's a backup or main lens if you're on a tighter budget. Then there's the 75mm F1.2 from Viltrox, which I absolutely love. It's one of those lenses that could easily be mistaken, I think, for something Fujifilm themselves made. It's sharp, the bokeh is stunning, and it just performs well. And then, of course, the 27mm, which I reviewed recently as well. Honestly, this might be my favorite Viltrox lens. It's small, lightweight, and incredibly versatile. Whether I'm out doing street photography or shooting casually, it's nearly always in my bag. It's a lens that just gets on with the job, and it doesn't draw attention to itself like some of the third-party lenses that we see out there. I've also got the 85mm f1.8 Mark I Viltrox lens. I have to admit, 85mm isn't a focal length that I use very often. It's just not my usual style of shooting. I prefer wider focal lengths or mid-range options. But when I do use it, it delivers. It's sharp and the colors are fantastic, and it's perfect for anyone looking for a reliable portrait lens without spending a fortune. But today we're going to be talking about the new Viltrox AIR 35mm f1.7, and that's what this review is all about. This is the latest addition to their lineup, and it's part of their AIR series, which is all about being lightweight and portable. But the first thing that really grabs your attention, I think, is the price. This lens comes in at around about $179, €199, probably £199 as well. That's significantly cheaper than Fujifilm's equivalents. So to give you some context, the XF35mm f1.4 is around about £500, and the 33mm 1.4 is about £700. Even Fujifilm's more budget-friendly 35mm f2 is about £350. So the AIR 35 comes in at less than half the price of some of these options, which could be a big deal for some of you. Now, of course, there are going to be some trade-offs, and the most noticeable one is the lack of an aperture ring. Now, if you're a Fujifilm shooter, you'll know the aperture ring is part of that experience. It's one of those tactile features that makes Fujifilm cameras so enjoyable to use. Being able to adjust your aperture without taking your eye away from the viewfinder is something I've always loved since the very original X100. So not having an aperture ring on this lens can feel a little bit awkward sometimes. That said, I understand why Viltrox made this decision, and it makes a lot of sense. The AIR series is designed to be simple, lightweight, and affordable. Dropping the aperture ring simplifies the design and helps keep those costs down. And let's be honest, not everybody cares about having an aperture ring. If you're coming from another system or you're used to adjusting aperture with a command dial, this probably won't bother you at all, and it shouldn't bother you. For me personally, I do prefer having an aperture ring. It's part of what makes Fujifilm so special. But I have to admit, while using the 35mm AIR lens, I didn't find it a deal breaker. Once you're into the flow of shooting, you don't really think about it too much. And this lens has a lot going for it to make up for that omission. I just want to talk about the sponsor of today's episode, Squarespace. And I've used Squarespace for a very long time now, and you can use it too. You can start a completely personalized website with the new guided design system, Squarespace Blueprint. You can even sell your products and services with an online store, just like I do. Whether you sell physical goods, digital content, prints, or services, Squarespace has the tools you need to start selling online. You can even add appointments to your Squarespace website and start accepting clients if you are doing some kind of scheduling. Squarespace really is the system that I would recommend to any photographer. Go to squarespace.com/Kevin Mullins for 10% off your first website or domain hosting. So let's talk about how it performs, because that's where Viltrox always shines, in my honest opinion, for a third-party lens manufacturer. The autofocus on this lens is excellent, especially in AFC mode during burst shooting. It locked onto moving subjects quickly and accurately, and it kept up even during reasonably fast-paced action. For general shooting, the autofocus was just as snappy, quick, precise and reliable. Honestly, for a lens at this price, the performance is very impressive. And of course, it does depend a little bit on the camera you're using, but I have to say, I had no dramas whatsoever with it. I gave it a proper run for its money at a recent boxing match. This was shooting on a X-T5 with face detection switched on and continuous high shooting. And it really didn't disappoint and was actually the perfect focal length for a lot of the evening. Now, if you've watched my reviews before, you'll know that I'm not a pixel peeper. I'm not going to zoom in to 400% to analyze corner sharpness or hunt for chromatic aberrations. I'll leave that to the other channels. Don't get me wrong, image quality matters, and this lens does deliver sharp, clean results. That's all you need to know. But for me, it's more about how a lens feels to use. Does it make me want to pick it up? Does it make me want to attach it to my camera? Does it help me focus on the photography rather than the gear? That's what really matters to me, and the Viltrox AIR 35mm does exactly that. It's a lovely lens to look at as well. It's lightweight, easy to carry around, and doesn't feel like a burden in your bag. The colours from the lens look great, as you would imagine, and the overall image quality is excellent for that price point. It's not pretending to be a replacement for Fujifilm's premium lenses, but it doesn't need to be. It's a solid, affordable option for anyone looking to expand their kit without breaking the bank. And I think that's something I really appreciate about Viltrox. They've embraced the Fujifilm system and the way that people use the cameras in a way that not all third-party manufacturers do. It's not about some kind of really retro vintage look, it's about the image quality. Their lenses don't feel like afterthoughts. They're designed to work seamlessly with Fujifilm cameras, autofocus is quick and reliable, and the lens is balanced beautifully on the X-Mount bodies. They deliver consistently good results, and that's the key thing, I think. They've become a trusted name for Fujifilm users, and that's something they've earned. I know a lot of professionals who use Viltrox lenses exclusively. If you've been on the fence, this might be the perfect opportunity to give it a try. So, what do you think? Does the lack of an aperture ring bother you, or could you live without it? And at this price point, does the AIR 35mm tempt you? Put your thoughts in the comments. I'd love to hear what you think. But overall, for the price point, as I said, it's ridiculously cheap, I believe. I think the Viltrox AIR 35mm F1.7 lens is a no-brainer, especially those who want an excellent prime lens to couple with maybe the new Fuji XM5 or one of the more entry-level cameras. But even professionals like me will appreciate this lens, I think, whether as a primary tool or as a backup lens, which I hope all wedding photographers have. So, well done, Viltrox. I think they continue to make a range of pro lenses and more affordable lenses that are not gimmicks. They're well made and can certainly produce fine images when needed. So, as I said, Viltrox AIR 35mm 1.7 lens. For me, it's going to be an excellent choice for those of you that are looking to get into the X-Mount system, maybe on a little bit of a budget, but still want an excellent lens that produces excellent quality.